Good morning students, welcome back. Today we are concentrating on the last chapter of the first unit, Flights of Freedom. As you know, the unit opens with a powerful speech by Christine Lagarde that echoes the need for women empowerment, followed by a poem that celebrates motherhood and a story of a typical woman caught in the web of married life. And we are focusing on HOREGALLU, an anecdote by Sudha Murthy. Sudha Murthy is a prolific writer. Was born on 19th August in Karnataka. She began her professional career as a computer scientist and engineer. And she is the founder of Infosys along with her husband Narayana Murthy, a noted social activist and a member of public health care initiatives of the Gates Foundation. She has also contributed much to the literature in Kannada and English. This writer has written short stories, novels, technical books, travelogues. The story titled, or the anecdote titled HOREGALLU is taken from the collection titled The Old Man and His God, Discovering the Spirit of India. These are the opening lines that catch our attention as we open the chapter HOREGALLU. Backward, turn backward, O time. In your flight, make me a child again just for tonight. Yes, the opening lines of the poem Rock Me to Sleep by Elizabeth Chase Eckers Ellen. That voices motherhood and a journey back to childhood. Childhood is nostalgic, and nostalgia is a sentimental or wistful yearning for the happiness felt at a former place, time or moment. And when if it is childhood, it fills our mind with freshness and vigor and revitalizes us enough to go forward with confidence. Sudha Murthy's HOREGALLU has two important anecdotes. It is a simple memoir too, because it relates with the two characters in her life, her grandfather and her colleague Ratna. And she says that they both were physical HOREGALLUs. Now what's a HOREGALLU? A HOREGALLU literally is a stone bench. And in olden days, it was a place where people who were tired could take rest and regain their energy. Now let's have a glance at the characters, the theme and the setting of the story. In her anecdote or memoir, Sudha Murthy herself is a character. Apart from that, the central characters are grandfather and Ratna, and we have two silent characters, HOREGALLU and banyan tree. The setting is in a remote village in Karnataka. And the message of the story is social togetherness, sharing and caring, the need to be good listeners. Now let's get into the story. HOREGALLU by Sudha Murthy. I'll read the story, just listen. HOREGALLU. Hot summer days remind me of my childhood in a little village. There was a large banyan tree right in the middle of the village, and I would spend many hours playing under it during my holidays. The tree was like a massive umbrella with its branches providing much needed shade and succor. Travelers spent some time sitting under it and catching their breath before going on their way. To make them comfortable, there was a HOREGALLU under the tree. HOREGALLU literally means a stone that can bear weight. It was a large flat stone placed horizontally over two vertical ones, thus making a stone bench on which anyone could sit and rest a while, chat with a fellow traveler and exchange news of the road. Cool water would be kept in earthen pots near the bench, and people would quench their thirst before starting their journeys again. I'm sure similar simple arrangements can be found in villages all over the country. The HOREGALLU in our village holds special memories for me, as it is inextricably linked with my grandfather. He was a retired school teacher and would spend hours every day sitting under the banyan tree and talking to those resting there. So, she says that hot summer days remind her of two things: her childhood days with her grandfather in the little village and the image of the massive banyan tree, which was in the middle of her village. What's so special about this banyan tree? It is a massive one, a magnificent one, and its branches provided shade and comfort for the travelers. Apart from that, the travelers spent time sitting under it and catch their breath before going on their way. So, this tree provided them shade, it provided them comfort, and it was a place for them to take rest and regain their energy after a tiring journey. And it is at the same place that she spent hours during her childhood because she played under the tree. She says that to make the travelers comfortable, there was a HOREGALLU, a stone bench that can bear weight. That's the literal meaning of the word HOREGALLU. And this surface or this flat stone provided the travelers a place to take rest, to sit for a while, chat with their fellow travelers and exchange news of the road. And she herself says that such HOREGALLUs were a common sight during those days. So the story echoes on an important thing, the need for such HOREGALLUs, which are not seen in today's society. HOREGALLU can be taken literally as a stone bench, but at the same time it has got yet another meaning. How important are people in one's life who can listen to us, who are there to care for us and who love us. Let's see what it is. Apart from providing shade and comfort, under the tree there was earthen pots. So it also quenched their thirst. And she says that the HOREGALLU was inextricably linked with her grandfather, and so it holds special memories to her. Now, why is it so close to her grandfather? It's because her grandfather, who was a retired school teacher, spent hours sitting under that banyan tree and talks to those resting there. So he was a person who listened to the problems, worries and troubles of the tiresome souls. Yes, the tired travelers and the villagers who came there to rest under the massive tree. When I would get tired of playing, I would sit next to him and observe the people he was speaking to and listen to their conversations. Most of them were villagers taking a break from their work in the fields nearby. They had to walk long distances each day, carrying heavy burdens on their heads. Tired out by the heat, they would drink the cool water, wash their faces with it and chat with grandfather. Their conversations would be about their daily lives and worries. So these tired travelers or villagers used to rest under the massive banyan tree. And her grandfather was a silent picture there, who silently listened to the problems and troubles of the villagers. Most of the villagers were tired after their work, talked to grandfather, and they talk about their problems, worries and troubles. And grandfather silently listened to them. He never gave suggestions or solution to their problems, but that silent listening of her grandfather was more than enough for those tired souls, because they wanted someone in their life to listen to them, a person who listens patiently and never judges them, and that helped them to move on in their life, because it refreshed them, it helped them to regain their energy, and it helps them to relive their life. And Sudha Murthy herself says that most of their conversations will be daily things. It is nothing much to talk, but still those simple talks gave them comfort and helped them to regain their energy. Master Ji, this summer has been so hot. I've never seen such dry weather. Or, Master Ji, it is getting difficult for me to carry these large loads on my head. Thank God for this HOREGALLU. I wish my son would help, but he only wants to go to the city. They spoke about the difficulties they lived with. Here the word large loads refers to the burden that each and every person carries in their heart, in their soul and in their head. To get rid of these burdens, we need someone on whom we can completely rely on. Trustworthy people and good listeners. And her grandfather was unknowingly doing such a work, a social service, by being a counselor to the passerby. My grandfather would only listen to them, but just talking to him seemed to refresh them for the journey. After some time, they would pick up their burdens with some ease and go on their way. The HOREGALLU was an important feature in their lives, and as a child, I would often not understand why they blessed it so often for being there. After all, it was only a stone bench. She says that she never understood the importance or the meaning of a HOREGALLU in those people's lives, because to her, it was just a stone bench. Later, it was her grandfather who made her realize how important a HOREGALLU is in a person's life. And she says, a HOREGALLU is essential in every person's life. We all carry our burdens according to our situations, but at times we need to stop, put down that burden and rest. Only then can we be refreshed enough to pick up the loads once more. The HOREGALLU gives everyone that opportunity to do so. It helps people regain their strength. Thus, HOREGALLU plays an important role not just in her grandfather's life, but in her life too. And later, she realized the real meaning of a HOREGALLU, and that is Ratna, her colleague whom she met in Mumbai. We'll know about Ratna and the anecdote related to it in the next session. Till then, take care, be safe. Thank you.